Alrighty guys, so I'm Pretty Girl. Welcome to part 7, and we're going to be finishing off the story for Sonic Lost World.
Your friend has embarrassed me for the last time. You will be the instrument of my revenge.
Yeah, it'll be fun to have your little buddy scramble you like an omelet. Omelet.
Enjoy your last moments of free will. When we return, you'll be our slave.
I've built a TV out of paper clips and reprogrammed a supercomputer using dishwashing detergent and a toothpick. I'm not even gonna need the detergent for this one.
Wow, it's quite a drop.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you guys are going down. This energy machine is made up way stronger. Eggman. Time for some revenge! Right, Master?
Correct. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Oh man, now you made me hungry! Let's hurry up and destroy him!
So yeah. The first act of Lava Mountain actually isn't a level at all, it's a boss rush.
Gonna beat you like a drum!
And as you probably no doubt got from the first cutscene, we're going to be re-fighting Zaz and Zomon and Master Zik.
The boss is gonna beat me!
And Zaz goes down so easily it's not even funny. You just home and attack him. If you charge the shot, you'll beat him quicker.
Whoa! My favorite flavor!
So now we get to re-fight Zomon, who is slightly harder than Zaz. He fires off a bunch of projectiles, you know, while spinning, and then he'll dig into the ground and, you know, you've got to run away from him when he does this. When he's spinning, use that as your opportunity to attack him. But Zomon's also really fucking easy to beat.
Almost right, almost failure!
So, that's 2 down, 1 to go.
I will hold nothing back.
And with Master Zik, he just runs around firing projectiles at you. He can be kind of annoying because you don't really have the whole planet to work with. And it can be annoying if the projectiles hit you. Particularly if you're chasing after him.
Being an old man, are you proud?
Yeah, I'm pretty proud. But yeah, you shouldn't have any problem with that Act 1. Because, really, those 3 Zeti go down so fucking quickly. But obviously, we want to play a level here. And we're about to. This is the hardest level in the game, in my opinion. I really don't like this level. Lava Mountain Act 2. You can say Zone 2 all you like, game, but it's Act 2, okay? And it's another one of these grinding levels, and this one is actually really hard. I mentioned it like way back in Tropical Coast. That, you know, I believe I mentioned that this is actually quite out of place, you know. This is supposed to be lava mountains, and we got a grinding level where you're surrounded by water. But yeah, if you want to know why this level is so hard, it's because of the, well, it's because of these carts with the bombs on it. If you touch them, they are instant kill. You can have rings, and you will still die. So you've really got to avoid them. So basically, how you do that is you kind of, you have to hold back. At least that's what I found. While grinding on the rails, that will slow you down. And that'll enable you to miss the bombs easily. I mean, this first part isn't as bad. But it certainly does get harder the more you go through the level. It took me quite a long time to get through this level. I died so many times initially, first time playing it. It took me, like I say, loads of practice to get better at it. Good at it enough that I was able to get through it without dying. But yeah, you've also got to memorise where these plane things are going to be dropping their bombs. It's not so bad initially, but then you get to a point where there's like 5 rails. Here we go. And they will shoot along there, and then they will shoot along there. So you've got to go all the way to the left and all the way to the right after that. You'll have these doors which will close about halfway. So you kind of got to avoid them, because if you hit them while you're on a rail, you know, you'll smack into it and that counts as a death, which sucks. But we're doing well. But yeah, this is when a level does start to get quite hard. I tend to hold back on the control pads there, because otherwise it's so friggin' easy to go into the bombed, you know, cart and die, and who wants that? And if you jump at just the right point, you can get that red ring. But yeah, there's some somewhat precise platforming here to be had. And bear it in mind, you're moving forward all the time. I mean, you can hold back to slow yourself down, but you're still moving forward the whole time. And if you time that right, you can get the red ring, but I don't really care, because I'm not going after Supersonic, so... yeah, this bit is probably the hardest, because it's, yeah, again, more precise platforming. And you've also got to avoid those bombed carts. But that's the hardest part of the level, in my opinion. Once you got past that, it really isn't that bad. In fact, it's really easy. You just grind along, avoid the bombs, but you'll be able to see them coming, so it don't really matter. And just go through the doors before they shut, which is not hard at all. Unless you're stupid like I was there. But yeah, you want to take advantage of these green rails, but with this door you want to jump over to the red rail and then go back over to the green, because the red rails, obviously, as I said before, are slower, and they, you know, you won't go very fast at all on them. But that, I may have made that level look really fucking easy, but trust me, Lava Mountain is, you know, Lava Mountain Act 2 is hard. It's the hardest level in the game, in my opinion.
Amy? Knuckles? Anybody?
And, yeah. We now no longer have contact with Amy and Knuckles, which kind of makes me wonder what happened to them. I just need 400 more animals, and then I can go straight to the last level. So I will be tackling the circus. I'm going to need to. May even need to backtrack and tackle a few circuses, but if you're really skilled at the circuses, you won't need to worry about backtracking. I'm not that good at them. And yes, it's the trampoline again. 7, you know, we're looking at 7 whole zones here, and only 3 different styles of, you know, circus. So obviously they were going to just do the rounds, and we're obviously going to get back to the trampoline again. So 3 zones use the trampoline format. And again, bear in mind, I can't see up where those giant, like, blue balloons are, because I was actually looking at the gamepad when I was doing this. And there was absolutely no point. I just bounced on it once and that was it, because the timer was running out. I'm still going to need a few more animals though. About 200 or so. So I'm going to have to backtrack at some point to get them. But first off, let's tackle Act 3.
Oh, I'm getting tired of you guys. Don't be so whiny, man. That's my deal.
Give up now and join your friend.
Tails? Man, when I get my hands on you guys...
We promise you will be happy in our service.
I'll never serve you.
I was hoping you'd say that. Destroy Sonic. What?
Good to have you back, Tails. I'll take it from here.
And yeah, Tails is back, and we can now take on the final 3 Zeti. I mean, we fought the first 3, so obviously we're going to have to fight the second 3, and we actually get a level based on, you know, the lava theme, because given that Act 1 was just a boss rush and Act 2 had nothing to do with the lava theme at all, you know, it's nice to have actually a level. But obviously throughout the level we're going to be coming across the Zeti.
It! I'm gonna turn you into a blue snow cone and feed you to that glutton Zama. I'm on a diet and can't eat snow.
Well, obviously she would be on a fucking diet now. That doesn't surprise me at all. So basically you go through like this 3D section of the level, and then you go through a 2D section where you're climbing upwards. There's lava, you know, rising beneath you, and when you reach the top you'll fight that Zeti. And yeah, Hover also makes a return here, and it handles pretty much the same way as it did in Colours. You don't need to worry about using the gamepad.
Here? Why would you die? Like a cockroach with a horrible fashion sense.
I don't give a fuck about fashion, Xena.
What? No flowers?
Why would I deliver flowers? Why would Sonic give flowers to Xena for? Anyway, Xena can be kind of annoying. It requires timing, because otherwise you will go into those spikes above, and unfortunately my sense of timing has always been rather shit, so...
I lost to a boy.
Take it careful, that's what I was going to say. Anyway, that's Xena finished for the final time. Now we've just got to take on Zor and Big Bad Zavok. And I don't know what the fuck happened there, because normally I can get past that section without getting hit. Oh, also one thing for this level, it is also pretty darn hard. Well, at least I found it to be hard. First time I played it, I died quite a few times. But Act 2's still harder, okay? This is, you know, this is hard, but it's not as bad as Act 2 is, you know, on your first attempt. This can be gotten used to pretty darn quickly.
Look at that hedgehog with all his trying and positive attitude. It's people like that who are wrecking this world for the rest of us.
Okay. I don't see how that is, but okay, whatever you say, Zor. This part here is kind of like using conveyor belts. The only time I really would say definitely use the run button. Actually, what the fuck am I talking about? There are other occasions where you kind of have to use the run button in 2D sections. But here is one of them. I'm sure there's an extra way I can get to that red ring, but I can't remember what it is, so I'm not even going to try. And then we have these conveyor belts, which are easy to...
Sonic's doing better than I expected, but I have pretty low expectations. About everything. I mean, really, why bother?
I'm presuming he's only bothering because Zavok told him to. Because otherwise, why would he bother? We're all going to die anyway. You don't need hover here, but I find it makes it easier. I wouldn't rise too high though, because I die because the screen is, you know, cut off the bottom.
Realize how meaningless we all are? Well, mostly you.
Mostly you, actually, Zor. So Zor is actually really easy. You don't even need to hit him at all. All you have to do is get to the top. You get to the top and pull the switch and he dies. And I fucking fell. I hate when that happens. Basically, avoid Zor. Don't even bother trying to hit him, because that's not what you're meant to do. You're meant to get to the top, avoid his shots, obviously, on the way, pull the lever, switch thing, and he dies. And... down. Now we've only got one Zeti left to deal with. Though I am kind of spoiling it a little here. I don't know what the fuck happens to them after this level, because they just disappear. No explanation given. I mean, what happened? Did Sonic kill them? Did Sonic actually take a life? Well, 6 lives in the case of the Zeti. Because that's really out of character for Sonic. I really don't think that's what's happened, but I can't think of any other explanation, because they just... after this level, after you've beaten all 6 of them, they just disappear and you never hear from them again. Which obviously beggars the question, well, what about Act 4? Who's the final boss? Well, I'm not saying a word, but it's kind of obvious at this point. But yeah, with Zavok being the last Zeti to take on, you kind of want to... you're kind of expecting a, epic final boss. Well, an epic final encounter with Zeti, not the final boss, but an epic final encounter nonetheless.
You are a waste of my time, Sonic, and I despise waste.
Well, you can say this about Zavok, you know, at least he's environmentally friendly. If he despises waste, he's less likely to litter. Yeah, I don't know. Now, you can have an opportunity to rack up lives here, but I'm not going to bother. Because we should be fine. I do die at Zavok, but...
Ineffectual Eggman was right. You are Wilson. I never take
I do die at Eggman, but... ugh! I edited it out. So you shouldn't really have any problems with that. So, let's take on Zavok. We need to climb up here. I'm kind of glad that checkpoint was put there. And you'll see why in a minute. So Zavok's first phase, yes, he actually has 2 phases. He's really easy. He stands on top of these blocks and tries to put them on you. What you do is you stand in a certain position, he'll drop the block, then you go and stand there again, and then he will jump down. He will jump, and then he will do like this fire attack. But you can take advantage here.
This is my full strength!
Yeah, like I said, you could take advantage of your bounce attack here, because you're going to need it for phase 2, let me tell you. Don't attack him just yet. Wait until he destroys that floor, because otherwise the attack won't count. And then what you have to do is you have to bounce these boxes onto him. You can't just bounce on anyone, you have to bounce on the red ones. So obviously make sure there's no platform blocking the way, because otherwise the hit won't count. And just bounce and bounce and bounce. Really take advantage. You want to get as many hits off as you can, just to make this fight easier. And I think you need to aim for the head as well, but nonetheless, he's already beaten. He's not that hard, but it's pretty epic how he grows all giant and stuff, so, you know, it's a lot more epic than the final boss is going to be.
Nice work! Now it's time for me to do my job and shut this baby down!
It is off. Who could have done that?
Me, of course. I needed some alone time to supercharge my mech after you got me past the Zeti. Faking my death was the perfect way. And now, my ultimate weapon is complete! Finally, with the energy collected from the extractor, I can rule the world. Pity about the damage done down there, but there's still enough left for me to conquer.
The only thing that's gonna get conquered is your face, Eggman!
So yeah, it's kind of obvious by this point, but yes, Eggman's the final boss. Now I said that Zavok's final boss was more epic, and I stand by that. But this is also pretty epic. Well, at least it would be if it wasn't the easiest final boss in Sonic history that I can think of, off the top of my head. But you'll see what I mean. Let's get started. Because all Act 4 is the final boss. And it reminds me of Colours, purely because of, you know, you're constantly running. You're having to avoid his attacks. And the way you attack him as well was also pretty reminiscent of Colours. So he fires like these pellets at you. Then he'll use lasers. Then he'll try and squash you with his hands, which you have to time the jump for. And then you have the opportunity to attack him. You attack his leg, that knocks him over. Then you home an attack across his arm without it screwing up like that. I cannot begin to tell you what happened there. The cursor just did not lock on to the other parts of his arm, because if that happens, he ain't going anywhere. The hit won't count, because you've got to hit Eggman in his cockpit in order to really deal damage to him. So let's try this again. There we go, all the way up the arm, hit him in the cockpit, just like we did with the Nega-Wisp, whatever it was. And once you've hit him, charge up your home attack and smash into him. Half his health is gone already. Literally. We've already dished out damage to half his health. He's half dead. He's already smoking if you look at him carefully. He's nearly dead. And that was with one supercharged homing attack. Then you just got to avoid the lasers, which go faster. The pellets, obviously, that we saw before, they kind of go all over the place as opposed to being in a straight line. And the arms attack you twice. But all these attacks are super easy to dodge. This makes Sonic Colors final boss look like a complete, you know, challenge. This is a joke. One more attack, and he's dead. That was the final boss of Sonic Lost World. It's a complete and utter joke, and you really shouldn't lose at it. Like, Act 2 and 3 was super hard, and then you got a super easy final boss. It's just like, okay, a bit weird.
You know you never needed Eggman, right? I could have turned this thing off myself.
Sorry about that, Tails. I'll never doubt you again.
It's cool. Oh, and here's something that even Eggman couldn't do. I just reprogrammed his machine to return our world's stolen energy. In your face, Eggman!
I'll be back, Sonic. I'll find another conch, and the Zeti will be mine once again. Only next time, I'll make them stronger. Honey, why isn't my jetpack working?
Maybe because I borrowed the exhaust hose?
Sonic!
Here's your energy back, world. Bon appetit!
Hey, Amy. Looks like springtime's come early.
Thanks to you and Tails.
Well, I would have wrapped this up sooner, but, what are you gonna do?
You know, after a day like today, I could enjoy a nap on some fresh green grass.
So the story just ends. Okay. Sonic games aren't really famed for having fantastic stories. They're, you know, it's the gameplay I care about. So that's Sonic Lost World. Just a couple of things to address from that final cutscene. Well, only one thing really. Knuckles, if you can really do it better than Sonic, then why didn't you fucking go up there and help them? As opposed to staying down with Amy. In fact, while we're on the subject, Knuckles, what the hell happened to the Master Emerald? I swear you just... Since when did you stop bothering with that thing? What kind of guardian are you? So, I just think it's funny how you like, oh, well, I can do this better than you, I'd have done it faster than you. Yeah, well... You're still not that great a guardian now, are you? Boom! But yeah, that was Sonic Lost World. It's a pretty good game. I wouldn't rank it higher than Colours or Generations, because those two games are far superior in my mind. But it's not a bad game, people. It really isn't. It's just... I think it's not quite sure what it's trying to... You know, what its identity is. Because some of the gimmicks work, but some of them really don't. I think when the game sticks to just straightforward platforming, it's at its best. It's really a lot of fun. It's challenging, which is, you know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but I think some of the recent Sonic games can be a bit on the easy side. Though some say that the challenge in this game is a bit too tough. You know, I had to bite my lip a lot. I was inwardly swearing like hell playing, you know, the last two proper levels of the game, Lava Mountain Act 2 and 3. But yeah, but at the same time I can kind of appreciate the fact that they decided to make the game a little bit more challenging. Because that's something that you don't see in a lot of Sonic games nowadays, at least not to me. I find a lot of the recent Sonic games really easy. With the exception of Sonic Unleashed, Eggman Land can go fuck itself. But I had fun with this. The story was a bit crappy, yes, but the character interactions made up for it in a way. Well, between the main three characters like Sonic, Tails and Eggman anyway. More than the Zeti, because the Zeti are just like stereotypical one-dimensional characters and I didn't particularly care for them that much. Though Master Zik was funny. But on the whole, I think this game was fun, and, you know, I'd recommend giving it a try. Probably, I would get it, you know, cheaper. I wouldn't get it brand new. But anyway, I will be tackling an extra part to show off the hidden world and all that. So I'll see you guys next time, where we will really finish this game off. And yeah, last cutscene.
he is?
Took you long enough. Get me out of here.
Boss, your face is...
Yes, your face. It is good to see your face.
Boss, your face...
It is a little dirty. Let me wipe that for you.
You're being weird. Let's get out of here before my day gets any worse.
Why can't we tell him about his mustache?
I think it's better to wait until he separates our heads. Then you can tell him and get all the glory.
Great, thanks!
What's wrong with my mustache?